Are you ready to have your website get found by the right people? Are you looking to rank at the top of Google so you get more traffic to your website? Are you ready to learn how to use SEO and content marketing to grow your organic traffic? If so, you are in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the Simple SEO Content Podcast. Well, hi there, and welcome back to the Simple SEO Podcast. I am your host, Rachel Lindhagen, and I'm so glad to have you here with me. And today we are kicking off season 3 of the podcast. This is exciting. We're going to dig into even more this year. We're going to continue talking about SEO. I'm never going to not talk about SEO. So we're going to continue talking about that, but we're also going to start talking a little bit more about other marketing channels. Everything is still going to be organic, but we're going to talk a bit more about your podcast. So if you have a podcast and you're trying to grow that, we're going to talk about podcast SEO. We're also going to continue talking about email marketing and list building and how you can use your content and your SEO to help you grow your email list. And then in time, we're going to start talking about sales funnels and how we create one and what we do and how we know if the sales funnel that we've created is working and is profitable. Because I want to help you not only grow your business, but I want to help you scale your business and hit all of your goals. So with that in mind, we're going to jump in. Today's episode is SEO for solopreneurs. So if you're like me and you're on your own, you don't have a big team, maybe you hire a VA or maybe you have somebody from Fiverr or Upwork or something like that that helps you. You are a solopreneur, my friend, and most of us listening to the podcast are. So I wanted to dig into that a little bit and talk about it. I also want to let you know about a really special, exciting training class. I have not taught this class in a couple of years that is going to happen next week. That's January 13th through the 17th. It is free. It's a 5-day website traffic booster class. It's going to be held in a private Facebook group. You can get registered for that at the link in the show notes. And you can come in, join me, get a little more of my teaching style, kind of see how things work, how all of this works, the changes with Google, etc. And then if you're ready, I would love to have you join me in Simple SEO Content. We'll kick off the new year and we'll get your website found on Google, and I'll show you how to put together a plan that will get traffic to that website. That is what we're going to work on. So if learn SEO or get traffic to my website or show up on Google are some of your New Year's resolutions for your business, I'm going to help you do that. So make sure you get signed up for that class next week. All right, let's jump right into SEO for solopreneurs. So I got this question recently and it's like, how does SEO differ for a solopreneur versus a big business? And the reality is it's about the same. But as solopreneurs, maybe we don't understand what SEO is or how it helps us as much as a large business does, because we're business owners, but we're also having to learn the marketing side and the accounting and the finance and all the different things in addition to running our business, creating our products, servicing our customers, etc. Whereas in a large company, generally they're big enough that they have specialists in each area. So the person that I would work with when I was at the agency, who was the marketing rep or the SEO rep or digital rep, it depended on the company, for that brand, had a background in marketing. They understood all of that. So if you're sitting here and you're like, I'm not really sure what all of this is, I don't quite understand, but I hear it's important, it's okay. All right, I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to make it easy to understand. So SEO is very simply a way for your website, your podcast, your social media content to be connected to the audience that you're creating it for. That's really truly what it is. And I want you to think of it that way. SEO stands for search engine optimization. It is you working with the search engine to help them understand what your content is about so that they're more likely to show you to more people. It's really, truly that simple. So what I want you to understand is it's the visibility. It's what's going to get your content, whether it's your blog post, your YouTube video, your podcast, your social content, whatever content it is, you're going to optimize it for that channel. Now, what we do for SEO is going to be different depending on the channel that we're working on, but it's all going to be relatively similar. In each case, we're going to use keywords, and those keywords are going to be used in specific places dependent upon the channel. The keyword you choose will be different depending on the channel that you're using it for. But I want you to really understand that when you do SEO on a website, on a podcast, on a Pinterest pin, on a YouTube video, on a social post, you are kind of adding fuel to the fire. You're helping that post take off, that video, that blog post, that podcast. You're helping your ideal customer find you and find the information that they need. So it's really, really important. It is not something extra. It's not a nice to have. It really is critical to your online success, whichever channel you're on. So I always talk about choosing one channel and prioritizing that so that you don't overload yourself. You don't get overwhelmed. So what you want to think about is, where do my people spend their time? What do they do? Do they read blog posts? Do they listen to podcasts? Are they active on social? Like, what's the main channel that you want to be active on and have that be your primary? I generally recommend a blog to be your primary because that it really, in several ways, it helps you. It can be the core of everything that you do. The blog gives you the content for Google. When you do blog SEO, then you have the visibility for that blog, so you get more people coming in and listening to it. If you do a podcast like I do, then that blog post can actually be your outline for your podcast episode. So right now, I'm looking at my blog post on my website and I'm using it as my guide for what is it that I want to make sure I touch on during this particular podcast episode. You also can then use that blog post for your social media content. You can pull snippets out of it and use that. You can share it on Pinterest. You can create a YouTube video. There's so many things that you can do. So I always recommend you start with a blog simply because Google is the biggest search engine. You're going to have the biggest potential reach by really using SEO on Google and really creating great content for your ideal customer. So what are you going to do if you're starting with a blog post? You're going to want to choose a keyword that your blog or your website has a really good chance of ranking on page 1 for. If you're not sure how to do that, I've got tons of resources. I'll link a couple of them in here for you on like SEO keywords and how to find the right ones. Then you're going to want to use that keyword not only in your title and in your copy and in your header tags, but you're going to want to use it in all of the other places that Google is going to look. And if you're not sure what those are, that's okay. Go to the freebies tab on my website, etchedmarketing.com/freebies, and get the beginner's guide to SEO. It's a step-by-step guide. It's going to show you what all of these things are, what they look like in Google, and it's got a checklist so that you can make sure you've done what you need to do for your website or blog. Then, if you're going to create a podcast episode from it and you want to learn about podcast SEO, go get the beginner's guide to podcast SEO. And that's going to help you understand what to do to help your podcast episode get more visibility. Now, your podcast keyword and your blog post keyword are probably not going to be the same, and that is okay, because what you can rank for in a podcast app is going to be different from what you can rank for on Google. The guides explain the differences between the two. You're going to want to use your Google keyword for your podcast show notes blog post page. So I refer to that as your podcast show notes. Rather than doing a show notes page, I do a blog post and I embed the podcast video or audio clip right in that blog post so that it's right there. It's got all the information. And then I also do the transcript of it at the bottom. So you're going to do SEO on your website and on your podcast if you have a podcast. Then if you're posting to Pinterest, you're going to create pins and you're going to optimize those pins, again, using keywords that are going to help you get found by your ideal customer. If you're active on Instagram or Facebook, the same thing. You're going to want to use keywords related to that content piece in your caption so that people can find it when they're searching. You really want to think about your ideal customer and what words do they use, because the words they use are going to be critical that you use them. It's critical that you use the keywords that they use when they're searching, because that's the only way you're really going to show up when they're searching. So I'm going to show you how to do all of that. You've got the blog post here that walks you through it. You also have hopefully now downloaded the beginner's guide to SEO. And if you have a podcast, the beginner's guide to podcast SEO, those tools are going to help you so much. What I want you to do also is sign up for next week's free class. That's the Website Traffic Booster class, January 13th through the 17th. If you are listening to this on replay and it's April or May or it's, 2027 now, don't worry about it, okay? You can't get the Website Traffic Booster class because I'm not teaching it this week, but you can still get the free class on the website. So go to etchedmarketing.com/freebies. There will be information there on a free class that will help you with a little bit more insight. And then when you're ready, join me in Simple SEO Content, and I will make this all so easy for you and break it down and answer your questions. And we will get your website found on Google so that you're getting more traffic and you're making more money. All right, that's it for today. I will see you back here next week, and make sure you get signed up for the Website Traffic Booster class. I want to see you in class starting Monday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain. Have a great day. Bye for now. That's all for today's episode of the Simple SEO Content Podcast. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you visit my website, etchedmarketing.com, and visit the freebies tab. Right there, you're going to find the SEO Content Quick Start Guide along with the free SEO class. So you'll have everything you need to know to get started with SEO and content marketing. Then do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind, if you would do a rating and a review of this podcast on your favorite platform. That would really help spread the message, and I do greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on Instagram at Etched Marketing Academy, and I will see you right back here next week.